planetary logistics stations. Both the PLS and ILS need particle containers, and since I would like to upgrade my assembling machine soon, graphene jumps to the top of the priority list. Graphene needs sulfuric acid and energetic graphite, so I'm making it next to the sulfuric acid plant. This also helps a little bit with the piles of refined oil I've been hoarding. I'll distribute the graphene with logistics bots, so for now, I just store it in a depot. And now that I have graphene, it's time to upgrade to Mark II assembling machines. I didn't mention it before, but the Mark I assembling machine only crafts at a speed of 0.75, which throws off the calculations. Mark II brings it up to a crafting speed of 1, which makes the math easier when trying to have proper ratios. Everything else is already crafting at a normal speed, so no worries there. My power grid is being held together by hopes, dreams, and 400 wind turbines, so yeah, it's time to join the dark side and start burning coal. Take that, carbon footprint. Logistics stations are quite power hungry, so producing way more energy than I currently need is basically mandatory at this point. I still have my sights set on getting to the logistics stations as soon as I can, so it's time to start thinking about those particle containers. I'm dedicating a large section below my chemical plants for this, and decide I'll also be adding in supermagnetic rings. They both need electromagnetic turbines, which needs electric motors and magnetic coils. Adding all of this to my bus isn't really an option, so I'll be making everything from scratch. I have an iron patch right here, and copper isn't too far away, so it just makes sense to dedicate a sizable build to making these items. Even though it looks like a lot, this large build is only producing 2 EM turbines per second. It's not much, but it's enough to carry me to the mid-game. Turbines and processors end up being two of the biggest mid to late game bottlenecks, so giving them proper attention now is totally worth it. With a few additions to the build, some local graphite, and bots bringing in the graphene, I finally have the particle containers I need. Just one more item and I can start crafting those sweet interstellar logistics stations. I recently upgraded to Mark II conveyor belts, which move twice as fast as the old ones. I take full advantage of this and expand the oil refinery so I can have more hydrogen and refined oil. I've also decided to make processors on the second planet and ship the finished goods home, instead of hauling raw silicon all the way back. Before I leave, I throw down more coal power on the homeworld and give the second planet a modest power boost too. There's something deeply satisfying about a perfectly ratioed build, and it's even better when it looks this clean. I'll let the processor stockpile for a bit, then load up everything I've made and fly it home. I also bring back as many titanium ingots as I can carry. Now it's time to witness the true glory of those Botmal blueprints I made earlier. I still need a bunch of items before I can start spamming planetary and interstellar logistics stations. Specifically, I need logistics drones for moving stuff around the planet, and logistics vessels for interplanetary and interstellar shipping. The big boys. Steel is starting to become a bit of a bottleneck, so it's time to unbury some iron ore near the bus and throw together a small dedicated steel build. I make sure to feed it in behind the bus collectors so the bots can still have access. No point in making more spaghetti if I don't have to. The final piece I need for the ILS is titanium alloy. There is just enough space below the plastic production, so I drop the build there. At this point, I am way too close to be picky, so I just let the bots bring in the titanium, steel, and sulfuric acid I need. Desperate times call for lazy solutions. And with that, titanium alloy is done, and I can finally craft my very first interstellar logistics station. Mid-game, here I come. The first thing I do with my shiny new logistical powers is set up ILS to import titanium, silicon, and processors from the second planet and plug them into the global bot network. I just need to complete the circuit on planet 2, and I can finally stop worrying about manually babysitting my titanium supply. I haven't mentioned it until now, but filling in water, lava, or sulfuric acid pools on a planet requires soil. You get soil whenever you place buildings on terrain that's higher than the baseline level. This leads to the extremely dignified activity of hunting for elevated ground and spamming rows of buildings just to harvest dirt. You can also get soil by fighting the dark fog, which I assume was the intended method, but dealing with them in my starting system just isn't worth the hassle. So instead, I occasionally spend a few minutes farming soil with assembling machines or depots whenever I start running low. What can I say? I'm an advanced cosmic entity with an appetite for landscaping. With most things automated, it's time to start scaling up. I begin by placing planetary logistics stations across the planet to tap into all the local resources. The faster I can clear out these nodes, the sooner I can repurpose the land for bigger and better builds. I'll admit the mid-game